Alright, so this is the quick but also in-depth review of the Canon EOS R8. So we are definitely going to go into it. This is more of an in-depth review because I have used it since I purchased it to do 1 or 2 photo shoots, and also did about 1 or 2 video shoots with this. Me particular, I am a cinematographer, a video producer, but I also went to school for photography. I have experience on both sides, and that pretty much brings us to the Canon EOS R8, which is a hybrid camera. It is primarily and dedicated for photography, but it also have really good video capabilities as well. So it's a hybrid camera. My other 2 cameras, I have a Blackmagic 6K Pro, which, as you know, is just a straight cinema camera. You cannot do photography with it. Also, I have a Panasonic GH5S. Now, that is a mirrorless cinema camera. It can do photography, but it's the GH5S. It's the low light version of the regular GH5. So it's only a 10 megapixel sensor. And I needed a camera that was good with doing photography. It was full frame, and I also had some video capabilities. The R8 is fairly new, that came out with an entry-level price point of $14.99 for a full frame camera with a 6K sensor for video that gives you an oversampled 4K video quality, compact RAW, straight RAW, high-speed sync. So lightweight and so compact for $14.99. I tell you, the quality coming out this camera, just a little spoiler alert, is really good. Now, I would not go as far as to call this camera a cinema camera. Now, it just has really good video capabilities. My name is Kevin Sims. We're going to talk about the Canon EOS R8, its photo capabilities and its video capabilities, and we're going to show some video clips behind the scenes of some video I did, and some photo shoots. Go ahead and start off with the size of the camera itself. So, I mean, my hand, I don't have large hands, I don't have small hands, so I'll say my hands is like medium. And like when I first pick up the camera, you notice like all 3 of my fingers can fit. You know, it doesn't hang off the bottom, and my first index finger is nicely positioned on the top of the shutter button. However, the back of it, my thumb kind of want to come up here. My thumb wants to come up here, where, as you can see, it has 2 buttons back here that I will have to kind of lift the camera up just to get to. So, whereas my hand naturally is wanting to press right here. So to have this camera small, which I do like it small, and it's so light too. Like when you first pick this camera up, you're gonna think it's a toy. That's how light it is. They do have an extra mount, that camera body mount, that you can attach to the bottom of it, make it a little bit bigger. But I do like it small. It's just that, you know, it's kind of these 2 buttons down here, I have to force my thumb to try to reach it. It is way more simpler compared to Panasonic bodies, which have a lot more, like my GH5 or the GH6, have a lot more customizable buttons all throughout. You know, you can notice right here on the top, there isn't a dedicated white balance button. There isn't a dedicated ISO button or a compensation button. And those are the buttons you're so familiar with, at least for me, with Panasonic on the body. So I had to get used to that. And so that made me worried about the button layout, because I didn't see any buttons on here that say custom 1, custom 2, custom 3. So when I first, without me looking at any reviews, when I first got this camera, I was scared that you didn't have any customizable buttons, which is a biggie for me coming from Panasonic, which my GH5S had plenty. Menu, you can customize every single one of these buttons. You can customize them. Even this one. Even the record button, you can change its function and customize it. So that was a big plus that I found out, and should bring some of y'all watching this review relief. the button layout, there's only a D-pad. There's no scroll wheel, um, and also there's no joystick up here. So this again is the bottom line of the full frame cameras. So they had to cut back on some, some features. So no joystick, no scroll wheel. You do still have a D-pad, touchscreen as well. So you can, you can use the touchscreen or you can navigate with the D-pad as well. So the size, other limitations. It's a smaller battery, which you heard a lot of people talk about, and there's only one SD card slot, which is down here. Which for me, it's not a big deal because I was mainly getting this camera for photography and not video. And for me, one memory card, especially if you doing like 256 gigabyte or 500 something gigabyte, there's plenty of space. For video, however, yes, you do want a dual slot so that you can have that redundancy and have the option to either simultaneously record to both cards or relay recording. But for photography, you know, it's not a big deal. Here's another feature that might not be talked about that much, but they do have this side access to the battery port. Now that's a big deal. That's featured in this entry level full frame in the EOS line, that they have this because this allows you to get a dummy battery that has a cord that will come out here so you can still close it, and then you can tap it into the DC in the wall outlet and then have unlimited battery power while you're recording. So that's actually a pro feature that you will find in like a dedicated video or cinema camera that they have in this entry level EOS R8 camera. So, yep, full frame, no built-in 5-axis image stabilization. So the sensor is fixed inside. There's no moving mechanics. So, hey, if you do want to buy this camera and you are a really dedicated videographer, cinematographer, and filmmaker, then hey, you are already familiar with using traditional stabilization. Go get yourself a gimbal, go get yourself a dolly slider, or a crane jib or something like that. So no biggie. Plus, you can still use optical stabilization on lenses. So another thing with Canon, this is not the same with Panasonic. I'm not sure what it's like on Sony, but I like that they have a dedicated video and photo switcher right here. So when you switch from photo to video or vice versa, in the menu also switches too. But you have a dedicated video mode with the menu is going to be only for video, and then if you use to switch back to the camera, photography, and you go to the menu switches as well. Everything is different. So I mentioned the only lens that I use to do my photo shoot and video shots that I've taken with this camera so far is with this Canon 24 to 70 millimeter. This is not the kit lens. This is the premium optional lens that you can buy. It's the RF 24 to 70 f2.8 constant. This does have autofocus, and it does have stabilization as well. So this guy right here is definitely a beast. So this here is a test of the video on the R8 that I decided to do in my basement, and I picked out the cinema slider, put it on the slider, and I'm just using the camera autofocus RF lens 2.8 f2.8. This guy cost $2,400, but I got it on a Black Friday sale, thank God. And this EOS R8 in this lens is straight fire with the autofocus. It's crazy. So this shot right here, You see, I have this on a Cinema Dolly slider. This one is motorized, so I can put on like a point A and point B loop.
So if
And I
you
have
look and see, you
this.
can actually see that the autofocus is nailing and staying on the book. Um, and every time that something else would get in the center of that box right there, which is the autofocus box, it will focus on it and it will lock focus. There's not that much focus hunting, so which is really good. And here I show you all the different um, autofocus areas. You can choose a different autofocus area. So this is behind the scenes of the shot with the whole light set up and the EOS R8 on the dolly slider. I did not shoot this in C-Log 3. I shot it in natural, but as you can see here, it looks cinematic, and that's because of the way you light. Lighting is a big thing, but this camera has really good quality. This is 4K 30 at ISO 400, and it has a nice soft grade too. Also, not to mention that you can also adjust the autofocus speed and behavior as well. So if you want it to be a slow rack focus from foreground to background, you can make those changes as well. All right, so this is another scene setup with the EOS R8 and just the 24 to 70 millimeter lens, just to show you the quality of this camera. So I'm in the basement and I am going to set up an interview lighting style just to show you the quality. This time I am filming in C-Log 3, and I have just the camera, the lens, and some sticks, aka tripod. That's it. Nothing else fancy, just to show you the quality. And so here I am adjusting the settings. I'm going to turn down the ISO. It's at 3200, which is way too high. And that's the reason why you can see everything in my basement when it's really dark. So we're going to turn that down to 400. Shutter speed 150. Aperture is all the way open at 2.8. And then you'll see how dark it is now. Also, I will post a full video of me doing this setup, and you can click on the link. It should be posted here in this video somewhere up here. So now we're looking inside of the R8, and this is in C-Log 3 with just the key light and the side light. Now I just added my third light in the back. It's a 3-point light setup, and I'm kind of smiling right now because I can see the quality looks real good. This is from my phone, and then you can see the R8 right there with the red blinking light is recording, and this is how I look on my phone. And then this is how the finished product looks after me manually grading the C-Log 3. I also threw on a film stock LUT as well, and this is how crispy and high quality this looks. Again, this is 4K 30p, and I'm blown away by the quality in this $1,500 camera on sale for $12.99. So here is one photo shoot that I want to share with y'all. So the photographers that's looking to buy this camera, here you go. Here's some experience, and this is me doing a group photo shoot I got booked for at a hotel in Bethesda, Maryland, and it's a big group. I think about 20 persons in one group at a time. And so I ordered some Godox 8400s, two of them, and also the trigger. And I have the Canon EOS R8 with the RF lens, 24 to 70. So I'll post the this video separately as well as the full setup for some photographers kind of want to actually look at the actual setup. So this just me setting up tripod. Not going to show the whole video. I'm just going to jump through it. Those the 8400s monotube flash that I'm using with the R8. So photographers interested in this camera, just a little bit behind the scenes. So to show you that this is an actual full photo shoot using flash photography and everything. It's not just, you know, camera, lens, and natural light. So that's the trigger for the Godox 8400s. That is for the Canon models. And these are the actual 8400s set up on the tripods with the Fusion. This is everything after it's set up, and I am posing the one of the group shots. This is now all 20, but this is one of them. I'm posing them and everything set up, and then you'll see this is how it looks with the photo taken and everything. Lights, flash with the Canon Eos R8 with the RF 24-70 lens. This is how the photos came out. And just minor editing. I didn't really have to do much. It came straight out the camera looking this good. Okay, this is another photo shoot with the EOS R8 18400 mono 2 flash, and this is the quality that you're getting, which is really good. Minor Lightroom adjustments with the shadows way in the back, but overall you're getting a high quality picture straight out of the camera. Now this camera also has really good dynamic range as well, and especially in RAW. If you overexpose or underexpose, you can bring down those highlights and lift up those shadows with no problem at all. Alright y'all, I think that's pretty much going to top it off for our review with the Canon EOS R8, which is your hybrid camera, prioritized for still and photography. Also have really good video capabilities. As I went through the video, I mean, I like the fact that it's a 6K video. It's a 6K sensor that's giving you an output of oversample 4K. It's real crispy and the quality is real good because of that full frame sensor. It doesn't have built-in 5-axis image stabilization like the higher R6 or the R5. Really, all I need is optical stabilization on the lens and I'm good. I don't really need built-in image stabilization unless you're doing unless you're using 200 or 500 millimeter super zoom lenses. But for 24 millimeter wide or up to like 70 millimeters, I'm actually good with just the stabilization on the lens. So other than that, I mean, this camera being $1,500 right now at the time of this video on sale for $12.99. Full frame 6K sensor, C-Log for that 10-bit 422, 2-hour recording limit with 4K 60p in the camera, 2-hour record limit, where Sony only has 30-minute record limit, and this is not even a cinema camera. It's a lot of it also has zebras, false color, a histogram for you see it has highlight tone priority. It also has really good focus peaking. The best part about it is the autofocus. The dual pixel autofocus with the tracking is so reliable. So for videographers who get in this camera, this hybrid camera, because you also want to do photography, if you're a videographer, this camera is so good. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And I use this for both. I use this for both photography and some video scenes, video shots. And I just bought this like 2 weeks ago. Already put it to its paces, and the dual autofocus is stellar. Subscribe, like the video. I hope it helped y'all out. I hope it helped you make a decision. Look forward to seeing you next time on my next video, and peace.